I remember when I was in my early 20s, I took a cooking class. The teacher was Romanian, and we had a lot of fun. We gained new skills, we discovered new spices and flavor profiles. We cooked from different parts of the world, the traditional foods. We cooked Japanese food, we cooked French food, we cooked American food, Latin American food. We would try different kinds of flavors to see what worked and what didn't work. I also remember that it was very fun because you're not just doing this on your own, you're exploring cooking with other individuals. And with that, we begin in the first step into cooking, and that will be skills. It doesn't matter if you're cooking Japanese food, Romanian food, Mexican food, American food. The basic skill set of how to cook is very important. And by that, it's how to hold a knife properly, how to dice properly, how to cut up vegetables correctly, and the process that's used for that. It's not simply just picking up a knife. There is certain techniques. One of the techniques that we learned was when dicing, to hold up your hand like this. That way you're not going to chop your fingers off as you're holding the vegetables. And then you would come in and you would cut a little further off from the way how you had your knuckles. This is actually a style that professional chefs use when dicing their vegetables and herbs. She also encouraged us to taste the raw vegetables while we were cooking and to taste the food that we were creating. That way we could see the different flavor profile as it was evolving, if it needed more salt, if it needed more pepper, if it needed paprika, depending on the recipe that we were working with. So different spices came in different places. So for example, the paprika was used in Romanian cooking. Using spices like coriander and cilantro can be used for either Latin American cooking, Thai cooking, Chinese cooking, or even Middle Eastern cooking. And to taste the different things, obviously to not cross-contaminate it, but to get a separate little bowl and to put a little bit of the food in there and to taste it. And it's really interesting because even though, let's say, you don't particularly like a certain kind of food, like for example, if you don't really like Romanian food, but you learn the basic steps in cooking, it helps when you create your own dish. And what's also very nice is when you're in a cooking class, it's a support system that is created among the students, helping one another. And the teacher, the chef, is there to help correct if you're dicing incorrectly and to help perfect your skill set. Flavor enhancements like the spices are also very important because depending on the dish you're making, the right spice can enhance a dish. Also, the wrong spice can decrease from the dish. That was a very important lesson that our teacher taught us while we were cooking. I remember one of the dishes that we were making, she told us to get a little bit of a sample and she told us to add extra pepper and to taste it. And it gave it an extra flavor that you could tell that it wasn't exactly the greatest. And then she told us, okay, now that you guys have done that, now get another sample in your little dishes. And we did, and she told us to put a pinch of coriander, and that actually enhanced the flavors of the dish, which was a French dish that we were working on. It was a lamb soup dish that we were creating. Also, trying different cultural foods is very fascinating. It's very interesting because as you go from culture to culture, the different spices are used. And what's even better is once you get a handle of the different spices and you understand the different flavor profiles and what they might do to a dish, you can then create your own signature dish, a dish that you can uniquely like. With these set skills, I think it's very important for every young adult at least to take one cooking class, at least to get those basic skill sets down in cooking and chopping and doing the prep work for food. And what's even better is once you know what goes into your food, you know what's in it. So if you have a dietary restriction later on in life, you know how to cook. And when you know how to cook, you know how to accommodate to your dietary needs. And that's why I believe it's important that at least young adults should take at least one cooking class minimum, maximum, all the cooking classes you want.